show you how to install the extended studs. Of course, this has already been apart and everything, because I've done 2 already, but make sure you wear some eye protection and, you know, some clothes you don't mind messing up if your car is kind of dirty and rusty like mine. But basically, you got your basic tools here. You're going to remove the caliper, my brakes obviously, brake pads and stuff like that, caliper bracket. You're going to take a 32mm nut, take that out, and you're going to take these screws here out that basically hold the rotor onto the hub. A lot of people choose not to put those back in. I personally like running them because, I don't know, I just do, okay? I don't really have a good reason why I do, but I do. It seems like the professional thing to do. Honda probably knows more than me. So what I like to do is start off by removing the obviously caliper bolts here. And these have already been pre-loosened. But if you guys don't know how to do this, then you probably shouldn't be working on your own vehicle. But it's always good to learn something too. So remove that. Obviously, move your caliper out the way. Take your handy dandy impact here. You look for your 10mm socket, which you just found. Look for your socket. 10mm socket. I had to retrieve on that. So a little bit of movie magic, of course. That. There you go. That. I swear I just had this apart, but swear I just had it apart. And that's not the best impact electric impact either. You know? Loose, there we go. I like to anti-seize all these bolts when I put them back in, because as you can see, rust is a real thing here in the Midwest, and I choose to drive mine year-round. Rain, hail, sleet, shine, because it is a vehicle, and it is a race car, and sometimes you get those Midwestern wintertime blues. You just gotta take her out. Quick little VTEC rip. Alright, so like that, you take out your little screws here. I like to also anti-seize these and not put them in ungodly tight, like everyone in the mother seems to do. So, pull it off, there's your rotor. There you go. Alright, then you take your impact, hook up your air. Hopefully you guys have the luxury of that also. Take that. Just like that. I like to replace the axle nuts too. So that, go ahead and pull her on off. Nice and smooth. There's a little thing on the inside of there. Let's take that. You know, it seems like kind of a trivial thing, but I like to take my woods wheel here, like a little cookie, as we call it in the automotive industry. I'm not sure, sanding pad, not sure, but I like to clean up this hub here, nice and smooth. Helps the rotor sit nice and flat up against there. You won't feel any vibration in your brake pad, not that you typically would, but helps out. Yep. And through the help of some movie magic, obviously, took that, cleaned it up nice and smooth. Looks good, right? Alright, well, without further ado, I'll get to showing you how we draw the, or why you have to get different size studs for the rear. Sure, about this time someone's going, Les, why are you being silly, bro? All you have to do is get those spacers with the bolt-on lug nuts. Like so. So, for this demonstration, right? I'm gonna take this, put that in there, or actually, silly. This is the front hub, but for the sake of demonstration, it'll work just fine. I'm gonna take the rear rotor, just like that, slide that in there, ta-da, just like that, right? And take your hub, your spacer, put it on there. Just gonna put one on, because, you know, alright. This hub's not in bad shape. Awesome. But yeah, bolt-on hubs, or bolt-on spacers, right? Like that. make it nice and tight, you know, for the sake of demonstration. So you got that on there, it'd be eccentric to your bore and yada yada yada, like so. So you're like, oh man, okay, cool, I'm ready to bolt my, my bolt-on adapters onto bolt my wheels onto there, everything's gonna be all good and fine and cool. You're like, yeah, it's gonna be so badass, my car's gonna have hella stance or something. I don't know where your wheels will just fit. Then you grab your wheel, and you look in the back, and you see that it doesn't have any space for your old lugs to actually go to it. So, all that, like just that little amount of space right there, isn't gonna bolt flush to there. So, yeah. I don't know if I could actually, I don't know if the way I could actually show you guys, but, so, yeah. If that makes a difference to you, but yeah. It's all rockety and rickety and stuff. So yeah. That's why you can't use bolt-on hubs with all the different styles of wheels. It happens. Okay, so this is why you need to actually measure and see what kind of hubs you have. If you have the original hubs, they're going to be smaller. I don't own an original hub. At least I don't think I do. I have 3 Hondas. I don't think I do. I don't really know. Don't really care. So what it is, if you go ahead and get one of these studs from Dorman, the original stock ones, any AutoZone that you'd go to or anything like that, that's what they give you. It's this one. I bought a couple of them, so if you guys want to see, that's the same thing. Whatever. So I can tape up this shirt, by the way, for a company that I previously used to work for. I want them to come back trying to sue me. They do that. Alright, so what you do is you're going to measure your stud here, just like so. You're going to see it's about 478-ish. So most people call that about a half inch, or not half inch, 12.7, or yeah, a 12 millimeter. Sorry, I'm just brain fart. And if you were to take a stud like I couldn't find my ARP ones, which I don't know where I just put them within the last 24 hours, but I have a lot of parts. Anyway, a lot of parts in my parts room. So these are just some cheaper 1320 ones. They make headers and stuff like that on eBay. A lot of just like PLM and Blocks and all those people. Made out of the same company, whatever. So that's what you would typically order. And you would see this one is about the same as stock, right? So that's what you would get from there. This is the stud that I actually pounded out of my hub. Oh, don't want to scratch my car now. Hold on now. There we go. So obviously you can see there's no markings on the back, nothing to tell you how strong they are or anything like that. But I can definitely tell you they were on my car all 2018 season, and well, you know the results of that. So see me at the top. Anyway, so look, that's about 493, 492. So a lot of people are like, oh, that doesn't make a difference, blah, 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 whatever. It can't be that much, right? So, but when you install this stud into one of these holes, slides right on in. People are like, oh, that makes it easy. The thing is, these knurls, like, it isn't meant to actually line up or key and keep that from turning. The surface area isn't enough for that. It's just basically made to just kind of dig into the metal and then just kind of, grip, if you will. I'm not an engineer, but that's what I think, at least. So, if you take the stock one and you go just like that, pretty much slides in. Oh, that one actually is a little bit tighter. Nice. It's tighter than that one. That's good. Alright. So, grabbing the studs that I bought from Summit Racing, I want to say they were $20 or something like that for a 10-pack. Not sure, but they're made by Mosier. Some of you guys might know who Mosier is. They make rear ends and things like that for muscle cars and like drag cars and rear ends and axles and things like that. So I trust their torque holding ability, capability of basically just shearing. So they got a nice black oxide coating on them. Looks like they're made in the United States. If that's a thing for you guys, that's a thing for you guys. I get it. What I did was, I was like, all right, well, I measured one of my front hubs, and that one was actually about, I want to say it was slightly, like, right around 5 or so. It was a little less than, like, right around 5. So what I did was, I went a little bit above, and got a 502, 503, So, see that, hopefully. If I can actually go back and have to reshoot this video, it's gonna suck. Alright, and if you... So, if you measure one of those holes, you can see that's, you know, about 495. So that's meaning that this needs to slide into there. So, with that said, those are the... I'll include the part numbers and everything that you need to get the rear studs. Let's see if you can... That. So, yeah, they were actually relatively cheap. And I literally just typed in Honda extended lug nuts, or Civic extended lug nuts. And, you know, obviously the typical ones, ARPs came up and stuff like that. But obviously I had already done all that. And just a link to Summit Racing site came up, and I said, all right, why not? I'm an Ohio. I'm an Akron boy, born and raised all day. AK Rowdy. That came up, and yeah, that's what I decided to go with. All right, so with all that, you basically are going to have a few simple things here. I like to have some Tap Magic cutting fluid. I mean, just basically just thick oil. Something to help it kind of just get sucked into the hub nice and smooth, because you're cutting, you're doing a press fit for easy. I have a pretty much old, you know, axle nut from, I'm not sure what car, but it's from a car. And a kind of a junky lug nut that was closed in, and now it's opened, and yeah, look at that. So what I like to do is basically a little bit of stuffs, little stuffs on there. Move that through there, just like so. Take that, nice little base spot on there. You don't, the key is you don't want to damage or put any indentions in your hub that you just took so much time to liberally clean off and everything. So let's screw that on down there, like so. You can see it's a pretty long stud. Kind of wiggle it into place. Basically, you're kind of applying pressure when you're wiggling. It helps it go in straighter. You can give these a little tap. You have a vise or something like that. Kind of straighten it out, tap it. I have two pieces of wood I could do that with too. Kind of tap it down. But for the most part, it's nice and smooth, nice and easy. You grab your nice Harbor Freight impact that you've had for the last couple of years, because you never really need to bring out the snap-on one. You grab that there. Obviously, safety glasses on, guys. And kind of give it a little bit of wrappy wrap. Air compressor's going to come on, so it's going to be kind of loud. You're not just hammering it in, you're kind of just wrapping it, you know. And then you'll hear the gun actually kind of change in pitch, and you'll see that it's obviously pretty much all the way in. Kind of hit your reverse, like so. Just like that. Just like that. Had to turn off the compressor. A little bit of movie magic, of course, for you guys. Hopefully I didn't blow out your eardrums or your speakers. Alright. And like that. Voila. And then you'll repeat the process for the last piece, and yeah, it'll be good. All right, and now it's time to put everything back together. I took a little bit of time to actually take off my rear ABS sensor, because, you know, ABS, who cares? Nah, I'm just kidding. My ABS was actually faulty when I bought the car, so I pretty much deleted it after my first track day, just to shed a few pounds and basically simplify the system. Make sure nothing was leaking. Worked out really well so far, you know. Having nice lines on your car is really, you know, it's really good for peace of mind when you don't have to worry about brake leaks, you know, going into turn one. So, like that, all said and done, nice and clean, nice and smooth. Got your studs in there, yada yada yada, all good. I'm gonna take this, for the sake of us, I'm actually gonna go back and clean up all the rest of this stuff and do some bushings and stuff. So I'm just gonna put this together for you guys. But you definitely want to put some type of anti-seize there, some nice stuff there, clean it up nice and smooth. I cleaned it up anyway. Take that, slide it on there nice and easy. Just jam it on there, like so. There you go. It should spin freely. It should have a little bit of play, don't worry. Take your little washer thing that was there. It's keyed towards the top. Pretty sure they're all keyed at the top, you know, or they got like a keyway. So you take that, you slide that in there. Like I said, I'm gonna use a new lock nut, but right now I'm just gonna assemble it for you guys real quick. So, I believe you torque these, I think I wanna say it's like almost 200 foot-pounds. I can't exactly remember, but I think it's 200 foot-pounds. I'm not quite sure. I'll look it up, obviously. It's free information on Google. So, just to kind of zip it down, you know. Obviously, when you have that all in there, you take your torque wrench and you click, torque it in nice and smooth, and there's like a little keyway at the top. You take a punch or a screwdriver you don't really care about, and you tap the little tang in, basically. So then you would tap that. You see this one's already used. So you would just tap that little tang in. You'd be all good. So make sure I recenter my camera. So you got that. Then you're gonna reassemble everything that you took apart, starting with. I'm gonna clean up the rotor face and everything, and the back side of it, of course. Slide your rotor on there. What you want to do is, obviously, with these Chinese, Taiwanese, basically, I'm just gonna say aftermarket hubs. I don't know where they're made, so I'm not gonna be racist or regional about it. But you want to make sure you got your two holes lined up with the according two holes that will go into the rotor. So you can't put it on actually the wrong way. So you take that, slide that on there. Ta-da! Like that. You take your little screw here. Hold that on there. Yep. Like I said, when I put these in, I like to put a little dab of anti-seize on them. And I don't make them like stupid tight because they really don't need to be. They're just kind of there to keep the rotor from going back and forth, I believe. Just like a little click noise. I'm not sure. But you take that, you take your caliper bracket. Obviously, you want to make sure your slides are all nice and greased. My one slide here at the top is kind of stuck. These are new calipers as of a year ago, so I have to work on that. But you're going to definitely clean that up. Take your bolts that you had, you put anti-seize on them. You can see this is old anti-seize from my previous, but I'm going to obviously clean them up, wire wheel and brush. Nice and good looking. Take those. There's a little washer on them too, so make sure you don't lose that washer. Look where the hole is in the back. I'm sure someone's going to comment, why do you have a fortune sticker on your car if you got your skunks on here? Well, I bought the fortunes, and they're actually in my living room, and maybe I'll do an install video on those if you guys really want to see it. But I last year they were running contingency money for whoever placed top or whatever or something. So I had the stickers on the car. I was pretty sure I was gonna get fortunes. My teammate Mike was running them and he loved them, so I was pretty sure I was gonna get them. But so yeah, they have not been on the car yet, but they will be. Not saying the skunks are horrible, but they're definitely you find the limits of the suspension a lot quicker with them, you'll say. So you just like that, feels pretty smooth, kind of nice. Like that. Obviously, you would put brake pads in, or your new brake pads. You would make sure your sliders are good. You make sure your your shields are on there and everything's good, just like that. So then you take your caliper, move it on down here. I have braided lines on here. I suggest everyone do braided lines because they're nice. And they're not super expensive. But if you have bad lines, if you have bad, brake lines on the car already, like rusty ones, just do the whole kit and caboodle all at once. Save yourself a little bit of brake fluid and, bend up your lines nice and smooth. Kind of rambling just so I don't have to fill this with any type of animation or anything. But so you just have that nice and easy. even though I'm going to take this back apart for you guys. I'm going to take this back apart for myself, actually. So you put that on there, you're all good. Ta-da, like so. And then you take your 15 mil spacer, obviously without any studs in it, you know, like the one like that. Obviously you wouldn't need that anymore. Like so. Ta-da. Nice and smooth on there. You take your centric ring here, slide that on there. This is basically adapting the Honda size to I think it's like 56.1. Not quite sure on that, but that takes your Honda size and puts it to whatever aftermarket wheel you got. These aren't necessarily necessary in some people's books. I like personally running them. I get plastic ones. That way, if you get the metal ones, they don't like stick to rotors and stuff like that. It allows you to go back and forth. Like they stick to the rotor. You can go to different wheel sizes. Sometimes I'll toss some GSR Fat 5s on here just for the heck of it, or if I'm running, you know, like snow tires or something like that, I can go all the way down to like a 15, you know, basically a stock 15 with the Wheel Brg kit. So that's fantastic for, you know, just cheap winter tires or rain tires or whatever else. In fact, most of the time all last year I ran 15s, and yeah, it was great, you know. So or you can run like a SI wheel or something else like that from an EM1. Take that, slide that on there. You can mount your wheel. And I haven't even pre-done this, so if it looks horrible, I'm gonna be surprised too. So then you take that, and I got my old lugs here, but I'm gonna do obviously new lugs too. Jiggle, jiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Just like that, sir. All right. Like that. So they're just on there. They're definitely bigger than my 15s for sure. Oh, no, I need a real big brake kit. But yeah, looks pretty good. Let's see if we get down here. We can look at how much clearance we have now, and that's miles of clearance compared to what we had before. Take a little handy dandy scale here. And I'm gonna say it's not exactly straight, but right around 15, because I added a 15 millimeter spacer. So I imagine you might be able to get away with a 10 if you weren't gonna, you know, if you weren't gonna track the car or something like that, or if you weren't gonna really necessarily care. Obviously, you could go with a wider or a more narrow tire also. But right now, I'm gonna try the square setup, and we're gonna see what we can do with that this year. So it'll be good. If I have issues or anything like that, then I will adjust, recalibrate, adapt, and overcome. But yeah, thanks for taking this ride with me, guys. I will post a video for the front that requires a little bit more effort. Some tooling, some special tooling, but not a whole lot of crazy stuff at least. And yeah, pressing in and out bearings. So it's a little bit more expensive. So yeah, thanks for taking a ride with me, guys. SK out. 1.